Wallahi, how often do I receive messages, brothers and sisters thinking to themselves, khalas, I've ruined my life. What happened to me? And they're crying on the phone. They're crying in the voice note. The brother is selling drugs. The sister has stripped her hijab off her head. She's dressing like some of these women who go to the nightclubs. But she knows deep inside that this is what? Only going to lead her astray and take her to the pits of the hellfire. And even when you take this path, and I think I said this yesterday as well, don't think that a lot of these individuals are happy. Wallahi guys, they are spiritually empty. They are spiritually empty. Just the other day I sent a link to my little brother, 16 years old. My brother is 15 or 16 years old. I think 16, or he's becoming 16. I sent him a link of a rapper. How old was this rapper? 20 years old. And I think some of you guys may have come across this. 20 years old, what has he done? He's committed suicide. Lesh. Why did he commit suicide? Does anybody know? Why would a rapper who has the world at his feet, who can just about enjoy whatever aspect of life he wills, he has all the money, why would he go and commit suicide? Depression. Jazakallahu khairan. Anyone else? His girlfriend cheated on him. Was that the reason why? You know which one I'm talking about? What was his name? I can maybe bring it out to you guys. But anyways, you guys might start end up Googling him, which I don't want to. 20-year-old. I send it to my little brother, just showing him, because me and him always have this conversation. Me and him have this conversation all the time. Also before that, I sent him a video of this brother, very well known, who compiled little clips of all of these very well known YouTubers and celebrities and singers, pop stars. You had the likes of, I always mix these guys' names up, and I asked them in the other one, what was the guy's name that I asked you guys about earlier in the other masjid? His surname is Paul. Logan, that's it. One of the top YouTubers out there, right? Sah? One of the top YouTubers out there. Think what? Over 20 million subscribers? Sah? Him. You had other rappers as well. You had Justin Bieber as well. All of these very well known YouTubers, rappers, all saying the exact same thing. What are they saying? I was so much more happier before, when I didn't have fame and when I didn't have all of this money. Many of them start having these suicidal thoughts. Lesh. Our brother said depression. Our other brother, maybe because his girlfriend cheats on him. Anyone else? Spiritually empty. Fatah Allahu alayk. Fatah Allahu alaykum jami'an. A lot of these individuals, they're looking for spiritual contentment. This is something that money can't buy. It could easily happen if we don't take certain precautions. So I'm going to inshallah ta'ala mention 4 things. I'm going to inshallah ta'ala mention 4 things. And I'm going to be asking every single one of you guys to mention these 4 things to me. And as long as you stay firm upon these 4 things, inshallah ta'ala, you will remain upon steadfastness. You remain upon steadfastness. The Salah was like what they call today like a getaway holiday. What do the kuffar do? At the end of the year, he needs to have a getaway break, sah? And some of them, they want to even get away from their families. They call it a getaway for the lads. Getaway for the lads. He wants to get away from his wife and kids. I want to go and what? Rest with my friends. All of this to avoid their problems. To the righteous of the past, the Salah was that which would make them forget all of their difficulties and their problems. It's like a whole world for them. It was what they call today a getaway break for them. And anytime they were struck with some difficulties, they would rush to the Salah. أليس كذلك؟ كان النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم إذا حزبه أمر فزع إلى الصلاة. Whenever the Messenger صلى الله عليه وسلم went through some sort of difficulty, he would rush to where? Rush to the Salat. Pray at a time when you're going through some difficulty and some problem. See how you feel. See how you feel. A relative has passed away. You went through some difficulty. Start praying. See how you feel after that. That is something that words can't describe. While they are spending all of their money, investing it into all of these different industries that I mentioned, we have what? The Salah. That is the solution to all of our problems. And if you turn away from the Salah, فَلَا تَلُومَنَّ إِلَّا نَفْسَكَ. Don't blame anyone except yourself, because what does Allah say? وَمَنْ أَعْرَضَ عَنْ ذِكْرِي فَإِنَّ لَهُ مَعِيشَةً ضَنْكًا. Whoever turns away from my remembrance, this person will have a depressed life. You'll feel sad. You'll feel tightness inside of your chest. You'll feel tightness inside of your chest because you turned away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Look what Malik ibn Dinar rahimahullah ta'ala mentioned. He said, إذا رأيت قساوة في قلبك ووهنا في بدنك وحرمانا في رزقك فاعلم أنك تكلمت فيما لا يعنيك. If you begin to feel hard in your heart, and you begin to feel weak, and you feel like that your provision is being deprived, you just feel like nothing seems to be going for you, then know that you've spoken about something that's none of your business. Speaking about that which is not from your business, something that is not praiseworthy, right? He's saying all of this is going to happen to you when you just do that. Imagine the guy who's leaving of the Salah, which is the bare minimum to stay in al-Islam. أتعرفون ذلك? The bare minimum after the Shahada in order to remain in al-Islam is you must come with the obligatory prayers. So many of the scholars of the past, even from the companions, كانوا لا يرون شيء من أعمال تركه كفرا غير الصلاة. As Abdullah ibn Shaqiq al-Uqayli mentioned. They never used to see an action that was abandoned to be what? An act of kufr other than salah. They saw no difference between Mark and also Muhammad who doesn't pray. You guys know Mark and John and Bob? They're not Muslims, right? But they saw no difference between Mark, Bob and John and also Muhammad who doesn't pray. If they saw a woman not wearing hijab, they said, oh, maybe she's new to Islam. If they saw someone not fasting or not going for Hajj, or maybe he's ill. If they saw someone not paying the zakat, or maybe he doesn't have the financial capability. But when it came to the salah, there was no excuses. Because if you can't pray standing up, you have to pray sitting down. You can't pray sitting down, you have to pray lying down. Prophet ﷺ, he said, العهد الذي بيننا وبينهم الصلاة من تركها فقد كفر. The difference between us and them is what? The salah. Whoever leaves of the salah, he's what? A disbeliever. So I'll talk to you guys about the benefits of the salah, what it can do for you, and also the danger that one is treading if he was to abandon it. So what was the first thing? Salah. Second thing is changing your environment. It's changing your environment. Guys, we have to learn to say no. We have to learn to say no. The moment you start practicing, you're going to find that your friends are going to drag you back to where you were. And the moment you start acting a little bit more righteous than how you were before, they start laughing at you. They start making you feel very awkward. Yesterday you was doing this, now you want to tell me, come on brother. A bit like Fir'aun, right? You guys know Fir'aun? When Musa came to him with all the proofs and evidences, what did he start doing? He started bringing up what he did in the past. وَفَعَلْتَ فَعَلَتَكَ الَّذِي فَعَلْتَ وَأَنْتَ مِنَ الْكَافِرِينَ. Because you did X, Y and Z. And then what did he do? He called Musa a kafir. Same way how today, when someone gets upset, he calls you a kafir. Because أنت من الكافرين. You're from the kuffar. We have to learn to say no. These same individuals, my young brothers, or youngsters who've attended today, right? All of these guys, they don't care. All of these guys, the moment something goes down, they don't care. It's only for a couple of moments, that they will write on Twitter, on Facebook, oh, RIP my brother. He passed away. They're going to feel bad. And then what? It's back to normal days again. It's back to normal days again. They write a couple of days on social media, hit the road soon. Oh, our brother has been incarcerated, he's been imprisoned. And then after that, they have forgotten you. يوم يفر المرء من أخيه وأمه وأبيه وصاحبته وبنيه. And that's on Yawm al-Qiyamah. Forget about your friends, your own brother is going to run away from you. Your mom and your dad are going to run away from you. Your wife is going to run away from you. Your kids are going to run away from you. Every man for himself. وَكُلُّهُمْ آتِيهِ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ فَرْدًا. On Yawm al-Qiyamah, you're going to come by yourself. So start worrying about yourself. And today you find if someone is just worrying about himself, he's looked at someone who is being selfish. Sometimes you have to do that. I have to worry about myself. I have to save myself first. يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا قُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ وَأَهْلِيكُمْ نَارًا. The first thing that was mentioned was what? Save yourselves and then your families. You really have to think for yourself. I'll tell you guys about a good friend of mine. And I've told this story many times before. His name was Shamaki Hassan. If you want to put him in Google, you will find him. Shamaki Hassan. Back in 2009, he was shot in the head. When we was in London, he was shot in the head. I was thinking, okay, after now he's been shot, everyone's going to do something about it. Alhamdulillah. Allah Azza wa Jal showed me the reality of the people. He allowed me to see at that very moment that these guys are not going to do anything for you. So why do I keep putting my life on the line for them? Why? It was at a time when the places like Camden in the UK, in London, was filled with gangs. Parents were crying out to Allah Azza wa Jal because it was generation after generation after generation. Drug dealers were breeding drug dealers. Gangsters were breeding gangsters. In the end, nobody done anything. And subhanAllah, after he was shot, it was the reason why so many people went to different parts of the world. Some went to Egypt to study, some went to Yemen, some went to Saudi Arabia. They realized, it's really every man for himself. وَكُلُّهُمْ آتِي يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ فَرْدًا. So you really need to be extra careful who your friends are. And even you thinking that these individuals now are going to be there for me. Think about it for a moment. He's making you all of these false promises. Yes, they're false promises. He wasn't able to fulfill the promise of his Lord by doing what Allah asked him to fulfill. How is he going to keep the promise with you guys? All of this, wallahi guys, is a myth. It is fake. Number 3. When we spoke about the Salah, right? I'm going to add to that. We have time, right? No. Try to pray inside of the Masjid as much as you can. And no matter what you are doing. We spoke about praying, right? Try to have that relationship in the Masjid. Keeping on your toes for all of these khams salawat. Coming for dhuhr, coming for asr, coming for maghrib. It keeps you connected to the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is where all the angels are. This is all where the good people are. Even the Masjid sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said, if you see somebody constantly coming back to the masjid, bear witness that he's a person of iman. يرتاد المسجد فاشهد له بالإيمان. And you doing that, being preoccupied with that, it distracts and busies your mind from that which is happening outside of the masjid, that which people are up to, that is of no good. واضح guys? How many is that? 3, right? Who can tell me the 3? And I'll tell you guys something that I heard the Kuwaiti Sheikh mention. All the 3? Salah, changing the environment, praying in the masjid. I heard a Sheikh called Sheikh Salim al-Tawil. He was actually here. Some of you guys may remember. تذكرون a Kuwaiti Sheikh who came, his name is Sheikh Salim al-Tawil. He was sitting right here. Sheikh Abdul Salam remembers. He came to this masjid. I heard him say, not just tens, not even hundreds. He said, آلاف الناس, that were praying inside the houses of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala the moment they became, and alaf means thousands. And this is me quoting harfan of what he mentioned. Of people who were praying inside of the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the moment they became disconnected, what happened? They fell off. Old and young. It's not just young people that whatever we're mentioning is relevant to. No, even these old people. It may be that he started becoming preoccupied with just sitting around in cafes, talking about politics. And that's what happens sometimes. See somebody who was constantly in the masjid, he's sitting in the cafe. The guy at the cafe has to kick them out of the cafe. It's time for Salah. Witnesses with my own very 2 eyes. ما الذي تغير؟ الرجل انقطع عن المسجد. He became distant from the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And last but not least, if you are a uni student, if you're a secondary school student, even if you're not, try to recite a portion of the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, even if it is something very little, every single day, and stay consistent on that. A lot of uni students always say to me, Wallahi, I feel like I have no time. How do I combine between deen and dunya? Some of the Salaf, they would say, I would read a little bit of the Quran, right? I would read like my portion of the day, and I would find barakah in my time. And then I would find myself increasing so much so that I'm able to read 10 juz every single day. And this would just increase my time in barakah. Sometimes we ask ourselves the question, why is there no blessings in my time? Why is there no barakah in my time? I feel like time is going so quickly. Yes, time is going to be a punishment for you if you're not using it properly. Is it really difficult, guys, moving from one class to the next? Moving from one class to the next. While you are at uni and you read قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ الْفَلَقِ قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ النَّاسِ قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ إِذَا جَاءَ نَصْرُ اللَّهِ وَالْفَتْحُ تَبَّتْ يَدَا أَبِي لَهَبٍ وَتَبَّ قُلْ يَا أَيُّهَا الْكَافِرُونَ. The small surahs that every single one of us have memorized. And this is من أعظم أسباب إيش؟ الاستقامة. From the greatest of forms of being what? Inshallah ta'ala, steadfast, away from what? That which is going to mislead every single one of us. If you do these 4 things, and there's so many things that can be mentioned, my younger brothers and sisters, أبشر inshallah ta'ala bil khair. You will see yourself bi'idhnillahi ta'ala upon steadfastness, and a lot of good will come your way. And a lot of good will come your way. And don't think that all of this hard work that you put in trying to remain steadfast is not being noticed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Don't think that this is not being noticed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What does Allah Azza wa Jalla say? وَمَن يَتَّقِ اللَّهَ يَجْعَلْ لَهُ مخرجا ويرزقه من حيث لا يحتسب. Whoever comes with a taqwa, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give him a way out and will provide for him from where he doesn't expect. ويرزقه من حيث لا يحتسب. Look at it this way, right? And a lot of time you find that taqwa is translated as fear. The term fear doesn't give it justice. Even the term being conscious of Allah Azza wa Jal, it's maybe a little bit more deeper than that. Ibn Rajab, he says, وَأَنْ يَجْعَلَ بَيْنَ وَبَيْنَ مَا يَخَافُ وِقَايَةً تَقِيهُ مِنْهُ, as in his kitab Jami' al-Ulum wal-Hikam. It is to place between yourself and that which you fear a shield, and that shield is to do what Allah told you to do and to stay away from the things Allah told you to stay away from. And we fear Allah Azza, and that shield is فِعْلُ الطَّاعَاتِ وَاجْتِنَابُ الْمَنْهِيَاتِ, to do what Allah told you to do and to stay away from the things that Allah told you to stay away from. You are under your blanket, and I really like this example. You are under your blanket and the shaitan is whispering. That haram, that filth and evil that people have become addicted to is a fingertip away. What do? Allah is Raqib. Allah is watching over me. You stay away from this. It's probably now because of this, Allah Azza wa Jal will open so many doors for you. Have we sometimes felt that all of the doors are closed in my face? I just feel like I can't progress in my life. Is there times we've maybe felt like that? I think some of you guys can relate. And sometimes you feel like, subhanAllah, where is all of this khairat coming from? Where is all of this goodness coming from? Money is just coming my way, just like that. وَيَرْزُقْهُ مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا يَحْتَسِبْ. Allah will provide from where He doesn't expect.